Hey everyone, thanks for watching. And so these vlogs of mine tend to start out with me discussing traction. So let's start there again. All right. So what I've got going on is I'm actually starting to gain a little bit of traction with a couple experiments that I'm running. See if there's any interest. What I wanted to discuss was how. Right? Okay. So what I'm doing is sending out a lot of feelers. I'm sending out a lot of, hey, are you interested in this? Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Do you use this? Now, when I'm sending these feelers out, they're really, they're kind of, I give them an incentive, you could say. I'm taking a different approach than what someone else or other companies might take, due to they're probably inundated with what I'm asking them. So with that, what I've noticed, as I discussed a couple weeks ago, was the 80-20 rule, and how it applies to everything. What I have noticed is that it does apply in what I'm sending out. So say I send out 10 inquiries, right? Now, I'm only looking to get 2 back, 2 yes or no's back. Sometimes there's a third option where they say, well, we're interested, but we want you to do X, or we want you to perform Y, or whatever the case might be. I'm not interested in those. So I do count those as part of validation, conversion, but just not exactly the conversion I'm looking for. So let's take that and expand upon that. So out of, let's say, 20 inquiries I'm sending out, I'm actually only getting 1 back. But the reward for the 1 is worth the 20 I'm sending out. So even though it's a lot, that definite yes makes it worthwhile. With that, now, what does that lead us to say? That leads us to say that what you need to have is a lot of patience. People like to talk about the whole lean method, about quick. Yes, it can be quick, but sometimes things take time. Sometimes you have to be willing to put in a lot of work, and there'll be a little bit of reward at the end, but not everybody's going to reply. Not everybody's going to say what you want them to hear immediately. So you need to have patience to really understand what the potential client and customer is telling you, and to even gain that response back that you're looking for, even if it's not positive. I've kind of had to learn that myself. Was let's slow it down a bit. Even though it goes against the lean methodology where, like I just said, move, fast. Sometimes you do need to have patience. You're not going to get an exact result in 2 days. You're not going to get a result in 1 day. Sometimes people and companies have other things, you're not high on their priority list, so you're going to get pushed off a bit. But the whole premise behind this is you do need to send out a lot of feelers, and you need to have patience. All right, learn to have patience. I know I have. I'm a quick-moving guy myself, but I have had to learn to have patience with this. So don't get discouraged if you don't get a result right away. You'll kind of learn as you go that, okay, if I send out 50, whatever, or I talk to 50 or do 50 or 100, I know I can expect to get 30 back or whatever the case might be. You got to just keep plugging away, and then you'll get the result. Whether it's positive or negative, it's still going to get your result. But you got to kind of figure out what that magical number is. Okay. So also, what I was trying to figure out was between you get your like Javelin experiment board and lean canvas and these personas and this canvas and that canvas, blah blah blah. Right? There's a ton of them. What I was trying to figure out is how to put them all together and use them in a process themselves. What's the most efficient way? Do I do this one first and then that one? Do I do them at the same time? Whoa. There's no explanation, right? Just say, here's a canvas, use it, this is how you use it. Okay, that's great, but you don't know how to. So what I've kind of discovered through trial and error is this. This is how I'm approaching this task now. Is I'm using the Javelin experiment board, which after I was a little, there was a bit of hesitation when I first came across it. I was like, I don't know if this is really, I don't know, whatever, After I've used it, I like it. I think it's a great first step. I really, now that I've embraced it and really tested it out, I have it right in front of me. You guys can't see it, but it's right in front of me. Now that I've tested it out, I like it. I think it brings real value. It gives you a methodical approach on what you're doing, how to, where you're at in your stages here. I recommend it. I really do. I like the Javelin experiment board. Now, what do you do after that, though? Right? What's the next step? So what I'm trying is I'm working on the experiment board, right? And then taking the results from that, and then creating the lean business model canvas. And then from there, as I'm doing that, I'm also creating the personas at the same time, because you can create obviously all these fake personas whom you think your customer might be. But when you're using an experiment board, you're validating who they are and who they aren't. So with that information, you can take it, apply it to your lean canvas, and then take that information as well and create this persona. So now you have a good idea who your customers are, as opposed to kind of this theoretical. Well, it could be this, it could be that. Oh, yeah, but I'm kind of testing this out, and I like the way this is working out. I recommend it. If you've got a better idea, by all means, please email me, leave me a comment, whatever the case might be. Now, also, where the next step is, the quintessential, Steve Blank, get out of the building. That's great, right? You do need to get out of the building. You do need to talk to people, right? Okay. Here's the thing I learned through trial and error, and I think sometimes that in the heat of the moment, you've got this idea and you want to test it out, you forget when would be the best time and where to contact these potential customers, right? So if I'm trying to offer X service or Y product, whatever, do I go to the mall? Do you go to Subway? Do you go to, Starbucks and local coffee shop, whatever the case might be? Where do you go? Well, you got to think about that. Where are your customers? And here's another big one I learned through trial and error was when, right? It seems like common sense, but in the heat of the moment, you forget these things. So what I've started doing is actually writing it down. Hey, these days are not the most productive, this time of the day or even this time of the night is actually the best time to do it. So what I recommend is go out there, figure out where and when is the best time to contact your customers, or potential customers, let's say, and talk to them. That makes it a lot more efficient. Even though it sounds like common sense, but I'm just telling you, take my advice on this. What I started using, as opposed to writing everything down, was just creating a survey, but in Google Docs, but just take like a tablet with you and fill it out as they go. As opposed to like writing everything down or trying to remember in your head, man, forget that. That doesn't work. You forget everything. I've done it a few different ways, and I've found that that's easiest. You can keep track of everything and get nice little graphs at the end. So make it easier on yourself, make it efficient. Get a tablet, borrow it if you don't have one, I guess. Whatever. Okay. Which now the next thing I would like to talk about is that I think some people have trouble doing this, is actually asking for help and asking for advice from others, right? You got all this stuff going on, you got all these ideas, and you might come across as kind of like a tornado to some people. What I found is that if you have a question, now you should be involved like in the entrepreneurship community in your area. Go out and get involved and ask people for help. Ask for people for advice that have achieved certain things that you want to emulate. They have the value in the knowledge. And most people are more than willing to share with you what they've done. Most people like talking about what they've done, what they've achieved, how they got there. They want to discuss with it. They want to discuss it with you. And if they don't, you know what? You don't need to contact them anyways, because they're just pretentious and snobby. So go out there, talk to people. If you have questions, ask them, and don't rely solely on, nothing against these organizations like SCORE and all those fun things. Go out and talk to people that you know in your local entrepreneurship community. But just because someone's not in an entrepreneurship community, what I just learned was through somebody that was interviewing for an idea I have, he actually has a contact in a marketing firm, and he said, you know what, I've got somebody you should talk to. Now, this individual that he wanted me to talk to was, he has contacts with every manufacturer in North America, personal contacts, and he's like, oh, you don't even have to worry about going through this channel or that channel. You can just come directly to me, and I can get you in contact with everybody. So what that tells me is that never be afraid to ask anybody for help. Never be afraid to talk to anybody. Never be afraid to come across as naive or that someone's going to be insulted. You never know who you might run into. You never know who they might know. You never know what they might tell you. It can't hurt to ask for help. Let that ego go. Let that pride go if you're kind of in that position that you think, well, I know it all. I've read all these books and I've done all this. No, you can ask for help. It's okay. So The last video I posted, I said I was starting a new book and I wanted to go through it. Well, this is the book, and it is Running Lean. Iterating from plan A to a plan that works. I can't really see it. But anyways, I like it. I'm going to say this. From where I'm at in the book, he's starting with the lean model, so you may know some of it, you may not. I haven't gotten about a third of the way through, but so far I really like it because it's a how-to. Once I get farther into it, I'll discuss it more because it supposedly goes into the actual experiments you can run, what you do, how to validate your business model. But so far, what I've read, I like, and I do recommend this already. I already recommend buying this book. So, that being said, I'll be back next week, discuss where I've got with the book, what more I can tell you. But anyways, like always get out there. Don't be afraid to fail, because by failing is how you learn, and keep trying. With that, have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Thanks.